Hey everyone, I'm Jason from Totally Online Gaming Group, and I want to welcome you to our latest episode of Let's Talk About, a show where we look at awesome software, cool tech, great tools, and all sorts of stuff that you can use to enhance your tabletop gaming experience, no matter what tabletop gaming system you use. Today on Let's Talk About, we're going to look at some amazing software from the developers at BouncyRock. That's right, we're going to talk about Talespire. What's Talespire, you might ask? Well, just think if you could take your tabletop D&D game and basically turn that into a video game that you and your friends can enjoy sandbox style, where you can run your stories and adventures. I've already done some basic and help videos on Talespire, as well as some speed build videos on it that are on this channel, but I thought it definitely deserved a place in this series. So, let's dive right in. Alright, so here we have the Talespire opening screen. Right now, Talespire is in beta, with plans, hopefully later this year, to go to early access. Now, when they go to early access, the developers have wanted to make sure that their platform is stable, runs great, and has all sorts of really cool tools and things that you can use, so that at that point you can really enjoy their program. But I'll tell you right now, even though it's only in a closed beta, it's still an amazing piece of software and very cool and fun to use in your D&D games or other game systems. So, here on this screen, you start by logging in, and from there, once you've logged in, you can now create your own campaigns. Pretty simple. You come up to Create New and give your campaign a name. We're just going to call this Let's Talk About. Alright, now, once I get this, I can go ahead and jump into this campaign. As an alternative, if you are the DM for your group and you want your players to join in a campaign that you have created, once you've made your campaign, you can generate a join code and then send that to your players. And as long as they've got Talespire, they can then come to this opening screen, put their join code in right here, and join your campaign. Well, right now, we're just going to go ahead and go into the new campaign we created. So I've selected on it, and I'm hitting play. Now, in here, this is your game board. Notice, starts out blank, and we've got a whole bunch of tools on it. I'm not...
Message from the dark side there is.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over all the tools. If you want to see all the individual things that you can do within Talespire, I suggest you look at one of my help series videos, or follow some of the collab videos, or you can actually watch my Twitch stream when I'm doing some of the collaborative build series with a friend of mine, Klein NF, and ask questions. I'll be sure to answer them if you just pipe up in chat. So what we're going to look at here first on our game board is we want to give this game board a name. So up here, I'm going to click on this little button and I'm going to rename my game board. Let's just call it Tavern. And I'll say OK. Now, in here in Talespire, the really cool thing is not only can I build what I want, I can import stuff from other people's builds. There's a couple websites out there. Tales Bazaar is one of them, and another one is Tales Tavern. On both those websites, you can actually go search for different kinds of builds that different people have made, and then copy that build, bring that over to Talespire, and paste it right in. It's a pretty cool system. Pretty cool tool, too. Now, in here I've got my blank game board that I can zoom in and zoom out on. I can hit the space bar so I can change up things like the campaign information. I can come here, I can create different settings for my campaign, basically generate my join code, my invite code, and I can, right here, once players have joined, assign them permission levels, like player or GM. Okay. So, what if I want to create the campaign for my GM because he's asked me for help? Well, I can do that, and then make sure that when they join in, you give them the role of GM, and then you can switch yourself to player. There's also atmosphere settings for the board, one of which is this fog multiplier. If I turn that all the way down and apply it to the game board, it's going to make it a little bit easier to see. Now, as I said, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all the different tools and stuff. What I am going to show you, though, is some of the fun things you can do for your game once you have things built in here. So, I'll just show you real quick. I can come over to Building Assets, and there are a whole bunch of different sections to choose from. So I can build things using castle walls, floors, stuff from Castle Ruins set, caverns, chests, cobblestone tiles, doors. There's lots of things to choose from in here. There's also creatures that I can choose from, and we'll look at those in just a little bit. But before we do that, in here I'm currently in build mode, so as a DM I can go ahead and I can start building a board for my players to play on. So I'm just going to grab some dungeon tiles just to show you. I can drag out a surface for them to play on. I can go ahead and throw walls around it, turn it into whatever I want. So for example, we named this board Tavern. Well, I'm going to go ahead and build a very, very small and simple tavern in here, just to give you an example of what you can do with this system. So let me grab just a couple walls here. Which walls do I want? I want this one here, and I'm just going to throw in a couple walls there. I'll throw a wall in here, here, and here. And then I'm going to rotate everything around, rotate my piece, and put a wall there, a wall there, and I'm going to throw in some windows. I'll throw a window back here, a window on either side here, and then I'm going to fill in these little pieces with some corner pieces. Okay, you can use these, or I could choose to use the actual corner pieces that they provide. For example, right here, like that, so that my corner is nice and continuous around this build. And now that one and this corner here, and then I just fill in those spaces with this 1x1 little wall, just like this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw a door on here just so you've got something to look at. And voila, I have just built a structure. I can put a roof on it, I can do all sorts of stuff with it for my players. And I'm going to go ahead and put an NPC. Let's go ahead and put us the innkeeper slash barkeep, who is in here doing his job running the bar. There's all sorts of props and things you can put in here, and your players can have miniatures that they can interact with. So this is something that you, if you want to be a DM and build boards and have your players run through, or if you just like building and want to have fun in creating things, you can come in here and do that. But now, instead of staying on this board, what we're going to do is I'm going to back out of here to the main menu. And I'm going to show you some of the other things that Talespire can do for you in your game. So I'm going to begin, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the collaboration. This is from Klein and I's collaborative build stream that we do on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. on my Twitch channel. Now, in here, once this loads up, it's going to take a moment or two because there's a lot of building going on. And it has taken many, many hours. I think we're up to over 30 hours of build time now. And what I'm going to show you is this is an example of the kinds of things that you can do in Talespire. This city, rotated a little too far. This city is a collaboration between several different people who have come in and built with Klein and I in our live stream to create everything that you see here. And you can see there's some areas that still aren't done just yet, like over here, this fighting pit and this general housing area, and we have a couple more streams to do to finish this up. But this is an example of the things you can build in Talespire. Now imagine putting your players in the middle of this. Well, I can grab unique characters, I can make my own characters here. I'm going to say, alright, here I've got a player who's a barbarian. I can put him right there in the game. And let's close out this build area. And now I've got my barbarian right down there. And let's go and take a close look. Oh, wrong key. Got my barbarian right down there, and let's go take a close look at what's going on. So in here I can have my players in the game. They can move their miniatures around. We can even change the color of the bases if you want, a couple different color options. And when I decide to put in some monsters, for example, we have to put in a dragon, because why not? I'll drop that dragon right in there, and now my player has to face this dragon. Well, that's a little bit small for a dragon. I'm gonna make him much, much bigger. Now we're talking. So, this is just some examples of what you can do in Talespire. As a player, I could right-click on this dragon and choose to attack. Or, right now, being the DM, I'm the dragon, I'm going to right-click on the player and attack them. And it gives you a fun little attack animation to go along with it. Other things you can do in here, you can actually roll your dice right in Talespire. So I click on the die that I want, and as a GM, I have this little kind of invisible option that says GM, where I can roll a hidden die so my players can't see my rolls. Ooh, look at that, right off the bat, nat 20. Well, hey, sometimes you're lucky. I can also just grab it right from here, throw that along the board, and then I get my roll and you see it pop up there. Now, up here in the upper right hand corner, underneath the little hammer, there is a little book. This is your session history, where you can see all of the rolls that have been done during the session. So that's pretty cool too. You can keep track. If you missed the roll, you can go back and take a look at it. Now at this time, while we're in beta for Talespire, there isn't any rule sets that they have implemented from Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, or any of those other systems. So right now the die rolls are straight die rolls with no modifiers added on to them, and no way to add modifiers on to them. However, the community has been very involved and the developers have been very receptive to the community and have taken all the suggestions that have been presented on board. They've said they do want to implement rule sets. They do want to get those kinds of things involved in the game. So hopefully, fingers crossed, at some point, hopefully at early access, we will be able to roll and add in modifiers right there so that we can determine, hey, look, I rolled, did I hit? Well, with a 19 on the die, I probably did. But Did I hit or not? Hopefully we can have all of that issue resolved and get those extra tools in place. But it's a really fun system. I can have multiple dice go up. You know, I've got this barbarian rolling a whole bunch of d12s at us, and there we go, it gives you the total. So it's a pretty sweet system. It's got lots of functionality, lots of promise for the future as well. So I say give it a shot, check it out. Okay, unfortunately you're not going to be able to do such until early access, but I'd say put it on your wish list on Steam. Definitely something to look forward to. Let me know if you have any questions about Talespire. Again, you can always go to our help videos. I think there's 6 of them now in the YouTube channel. Check those out. Come join us in the collaborative build stream. Ask questions. And we hope you enjoy this wonderful program, Talespire. You can already see the potential that it can have for your games. Well, that does it for this episode of Let's Talk About. We hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our future shows. Later, everyone.